non-citizen Chinese immigrant is sworn in on San Francisco's election commission. Okay? I mean, it's pretty weird. A Chinese immigrant has been sworn in to serve as a San Francisco election commission despite her lack of U.S. citizenship, raising national security concerns as one U.S. senator warns that Chinese President Xi Jinping is playing the long game. Kelly Wong, an immigration rights activist who came in the U.S. in 2019 from Hong Kong for graduate studies, was unanimously appointed by San Francisco's Board of Supervisory to the city's election commission on February 14th. She's believed to be the first non-citizen ever to sit on the commission after California voters approved a measure in 2020 to measure the citizenship requirements, eliminate the citizenship requirements to sit on San Francisco boards. This is in 2020. That's called double dumb. In her new position, Wong, who cannot legally vote, is one of 7 people who will oversee and implement policy for Department of Elections. She will oversee voter registrations. Oh,
is it like, are you
vote by mail ballots, voting locations, and election observations? This is not a fake story. This is a story written by the oldest newspaper in America, New York Post. Rob, can you please play the clip? Please play the clip.
Brother, you're going to think this is CCP TV. Look, go.
咁就其實喺2年前我嚟到三藩市嘅時候咧，咁我就認識咗好多原來三藩市有好多嘅權利嘅喎，好多權利係好多非公民移民咧都可以享有嘅，包括咧就算你係公民咧都可以咧去做委員去影響政策嘅。好多時其實我哋華裔啦。
Oh my, like, is this like okay? I read this. I had to read the story twice, and when I saw that with subtitles, Rob made a good point. Why is there? Man, there's Chinese subtitles. She's speaking like if you're understanding it. Anyway, let's really stop and think about what we're doing. She's not an American citizen. Okay, she moved here in 2019. She hasn't been here that long. Okay, apparently she can speak English, but why would she? You know what I mean? Why would you when you have no loyalty to this country? And mind you, when people are like, this is San Francisco's rules, right? The Federal Election Commission, FEC, rules bans foreigners from taking part in electoral process at local, state, and federal levels. But this is San Francisco. You know what I mean? They're too busy picking up crap off the streets, human crap. But here's the thing. By the way, you know how dangerous this is? I'm shocked. I hope somebody in the Supreme Court, they challenge this, because this is what she said in her LinkedIn. I have devoted my career to championing immigrant rights and equity and inclusion. And guys, equity is a new name for socialism. Some would say communism, where the government controls the economy to ensure everyone has the same outcomes. And diversity and inclusion are used to appoint political leaders and to silence or eliminate those who disagree. And Pat, you know what the biggest thing that popped out to me with this story was? China, okay? Proving, excuse me, once again, that it owns Biden's ass and it can do whatever it wants to our country and get away with it. And here's my list, okay? First, it unleashed COVID in 2020 that killed millions and zero accountability. It flew spy balloons all over the country. Remember last year? Over our nuclear bases, zero consequences. It's bought over 400,000 acres of our land in the United States, farmland, and some next to our military bases. Nobody cares. We let tens of thousands of Chinese immigrants into the country. God knows what they're really here for. We just had the power outage, all the internet, the cells yesterday. Could be an attack, could be a test run. We don't know. And what a coincidence. All this happens, Tom, 3 months after Xi Jinping came with Gavin Newsom. He was kissing his ass. They kicked all the homeless people out. They gave him the red carpet. Now, one of his people, by the way, we don't know who the hell she is. She could be working for the CCP, and now she's going to be in charge of putting people with the elections in San Francisco. If this is going to keep going, this is just the test run. She's the first one. Imagine when it starts happening in other places in Cali. Imagine when it starts happening in New York, Chicago.
How many months ago was Xi in San Francisco?
3
months.
Three months.
Can you check to see when Xi was in San Francisco? Do you think?
It was right after Gavin Newsom crossed over those
you don't think he told
Chinese
Gavin, hey, Gavin,
basketball court.
This is the girl. I want her in. 100%.
You're saying what are the chances that she has influence over the San Francisco Board of Elections?
Well, Adam, if you think about, bro, let's just really, guys, let's break it down simple.
3 months
She's
ago.
not an American citizen. She can't legally vote. She's going to have influence on American voting.
There's no way that makes sense on any piece of paper.
So Correct. And I'm not going to just restate what you guys say. I'm going to put a perspective on here so people can understand. The voters voted for this to change the laws for people that can be on San Francisco boards. And then Vinny's correctly quoting that the FEC, Federal Election Commission, has laws and statutes governing the federal elections at the federal level. So the voters. Now, how does this happen? Well, before we moved from California, Pat and I lived there when a proposition was put on the ballot. Remember, I think some of the greatest marketers in the world are the people that put propositions on the ballot. Let me explain. There's a proposition that went on the ballot in California that was aimed at basically people 18 to 30 years old, talking about reducing or eliminating tuition for community colleges. And this would be like Pierce College that was in the middle of the valley that was very important for people who didn't go to a four-year college to go get some education. Well, they did that. But what it really did was permanently increase the income tax in the state of California. They could never get the proposition through to do that. So what do they call it? They call it the Free College Tuition or College Tuition Relief Act, and they aim it at the young voters. You saw it this week in Washington where we called it the border bill, but it was money for Ukraine. And that's what happened here. The California voters, if they were asked to look back at what they voted for, would be having this collective WTF moment. At least 41% of California voters, because we know they lane, would have a WTF moment because they voted for this and they just didn't know what was in the turkey. When they unstuffed the turkey, that's what's in it. So you guys are correct about the laws and everything, but this is how propositions are mislabeled to deceive the voters. It happened on tax, and now it's happened here.
But now, Tom, in the aftermath, as of right now, those same people, as San Franciscans, or whatever the heck they call them.
I like that, Siskins.
San Francisco, can't they right now, guys? Adam,
Saint Francisco was the guy that, you know.
So Adam, so my question is, can't those same citizens, I know that they said yes to it, can't they right now go, yo, time out? No way. Can't they say no, Tom, and be like, no, get this, either take it to the Supreme Court or something? This is unbelievable.
Well, yeah, propositions can be nullified by a subsequent proposition.
I think it's a better question to ask in the following way, okay? So if you're listening to this, you may say, what's the big deal, okay? We're a country that welcomes immigrants and et cetera, et cetera. Great, no problem. What if somebody was to say an Asian woman who has been here since 2019, okay, is a non-U.S. citizen, is officially in charge of elections to U.S., not necessarily a city or a state. What if she is officially in charge of what's going to happen with, what was the voting ballot? What's going to happen with all the other mail-in ballots, voting locations, voter registration? Would you be okay with that? That's really what you have to ask yourself. If you say, hell no, then neither should that be accepted in a city as big as San Francisco.
Oh my God.
So it starts like, you know who loves this? You know who loves this? Xi is sitting there saying,
laughing.
And look at these clowns. And they're both, him and Putin are sitting there saying, oh, Trump would be a lot easier to deal with than Biden. They're playing with America, and America's falling for his trap. Go ahead.
I have a lot of friends in California, and I'll tell you, when you vote like this and you don't pay attention to what's on the proposition, that phrase "useful idiots" comes back. And I don't want to be hypercritical or get people throwing rocks at me, but if you're not paying attention to what's in this proposition, you're voting for it, and this is what you get. You get what you vote for.
Well, look, on the surface, this seems like DEI on steroids.
Yeah.
Right? So this isn't someone that's lived here her whole life. This isn't some anchor baby situation that their parents brought them over in the 80s, and they're one of the dreamers, and they're, been here, and they went to elementary school here, and they grew up here, and they're part of the American culture. This person's been here 4 years.
4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, happy 4-year anniversary to you. But there seems to be a common theme here of prioritizing others over Americans. We've seen it in New York. We've seen what's happening at the border. We're seeing this open borders policy. The story that came out, 53 million, I think I said billion last show, so let me correct myself. It's 53 million of what they've
for New York.
For New York migrants,
$10,000 per
$10,000 on a debit card. So I completely understand the frustration with the average American citizen who's like, come on, man. I'm fighting inflation over here. I'm trying to buy a house over here. I'm struggling with college loans. I'm struggling with debt. What the hell is going on here in America? And it seems like we're prioritizing others over Americans. At the same time, I'll say this. It's important that we don't villainize others. You know, at the same time, we can look at immigration, legal immigration, and say, we all came from other countries. Like, you came from Iran.
My mom and dad
came from
New York.
No one's villainizing.
Right.
No one's villainizing.
I know that
no one in the right mind is going to say we're villainizing. When it comes down to election, like imagine if we're competing in a marketplace and all of a sudden I start having the people that calculate your performance on your YouTube channel or performance for BDC or performance for whatever we're doing at Valuetainment. What imagine all of a sudden the person that's able to measure your performance is somebody that works for CNN. That's what we do. That's what it is. What if moving forward, like, listen, guys, we're going to measure a bonus, and the person we nominated to calculate all your bonuses is an employee from CNN.
Sure.
You know what people would say? No, I'm not okay with that.
Nope.
I don't want that. That's exactly what this is. An enemy who is not a U.S. citizen is in charge of election. You can stay in San Francisco, have a great life, go for it. But to have that kind of influence, that's the problem. By the way, we're talking about New York City stuff. I want to show you this Asian lady from New York. Watch what she says here, okay? She's being interviewed. Regular man on the street type of an interview. Look what she says. Go ahead and play this clip. This is a week ago.
If they were legal, they need to pay taxes.
What do you think is going to happen with the migrant crisis here in New York City?
It's getting bad because they're also next to my house and they piss on my door. I could tell that they're gang lords. I mean, they're tattooed up to head to toe. Yeah. The people pissing on my door, they're tattooed up head to toe. And they're not, there's no law against illegal migrants committing crimes. So again, it's lawlessness, non-payment of taxes, siphoning all our money to their native countries, and it's just killing our economy. Eric Adams just said he's going to give 4,000 migrants jobs. That means 4,000 civilians have less jobs.
That's common sense.
It's not fair to Americans. It's getting scary. Right now, you know, people in the Bronx are getting attacked. People Upper East Side, 2 of them just got attacked, and it's illegal to buy mace. It's illegal to protect yourself. They're not legal.
I mean, the beauty with this
is she's Asian.
Oh, she's Asian, right? So she's speaking truth to power. But you could tell she's in New York. I've never seen an Asian that's like, "What the fuck is going on over here? I come to pissing on my door over here." It's like this Asian lady over here.
Yeah, but
part of the mafia.
Let's get past the
set aside the joke. What I'm saying is, I'm showing this for a real.
It's true.
Yeah. So the point.
I empathize with exactly
what
I'm
she's saying to you is, this is a woman that obviously is doing her thing, paying her taxes, regular person that's dealing with the issues that New York is, going through right now, and she's expressing her frustration. So if somebody wants to come here as an immigrant and go do your thing, go for it. But you want to get somebody that's only been here for 5 years to start measuring and counting and voter ballot and all that stuff in San Francisco? You're ludicrous if you think that's okay for that to happen. I'm not okay with that.
As if we needed another problem with our voting.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.